So here to preview round 2 of the Pettitt Senior Hurling Championship are Ed and Des, and the first match that's going to take place is on Friday night, and it's between Ratner St Anne's and Owler de Balloch. So we'll get Des's thoughts on this first.
Look, I think Ratner, we haven't seen them because they had a bye in the first round, but I think Owler on paper are a stronger team than Ratner. I think Rory Higgins is carrying an injury. He's out for Ratner. So I think if Owler play the way they played in the second half, they'll probably have a bit too much for Ratner. But in saying that, Ratner have a very, very strong forward line, and we need to. But we look at Owler will need their main players back. They'll need Sean Murphy back. Need Owen Moore back. We'll need Anthony Roach. I don't know how any of them really are. We need Birdie O'Leary back. We need our strongest team to be beating Ratner, and I think Owler probably have on paper a stronger team, and I'll tip Owler by 3 or 4 points.
Ed, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, we have to remind Des that the match will be played in Wexford Park, not on paper, but like at the start, I would have always said that the team that plays the first weekend does have an advantage. They're up to championship speed. You must remember that Ratner haven't played since last July in the championship, whereas Owler have played several matches since then. So as they said, the players that Owler were missing last night, maybe they will need him back. Rory Higgins, a massive loss. Kieran O'Connor, Sean O'Connor, Shane Lawler, they're very good forwards. If they click, it's hard to stop them. But I'll hesitantly go with a 1-point win for Ratner.
And I think Ratner are a fine team as well, but they have had a habit in the last couple of years of being on the wrong side of close games, and I think it might just happen again. I think Owler might win it by a point or two. And the second game then is between Ferns and Lynn Barntown. So we'll get Ed's thoughts on this game first.
Yeah, I went to see Ferns playing Gorey in the league, and they were very impressive on the night, and I had rated Gorey highly up to then, but this match can go anyway really, but Lynn Barntown were so impressive last Friday night, and the physical attributes that they have, I think they have players to stop the Paul Morrises and the Benny Jordans, and I can see Lynn getting through here.
And Des?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same opinion. I think it's a huge advantage for Lynn Barntown, especially playing the Martins. They're up to championship speed. Ferns are coming in a little bit cold, beaten in a quarter final last year. So, as Ed said, Davy Clark will probably pick up Paul Morris. He's a hard man to hurl on. I've hurled on 3 or 4 times. Very hard man to hurl on. So, look at Ferns. As said, we haven't seen them. So they have forwards. They have Ian Byrne, of Benny Jordan, of Paul Morris. I just think Barntown's, if they keep the intensity they had again St Martin's, I think Barntown are going to go deep into this championship, and I'd be expecting them to beat Ferns now.
And I'm going to make it a full house. I think Lynn Barntown might just have a little bit too much in this game as well. The third game then is between the Shelmaliers and St Anne's. So we'll go for Des' thoughts first.
Yeah, look at the Shells. The Shells are probably hot favourites in this match. They don't look to be going as well as last year. They seem to be struggling even in the league. Their use of the ball yesterday, I just seen the first half of it yesterday. I thought they could have played well because they had the 9 or 10 wides in regard of, but their play was breaking down a little bit more than last year. The Anns put in a workmanlike performance, and they went strong, but I don't think they're going to have the scoring power to trouble the Shells. So I'll be thinking the Shells by 5 or 6 points in this one.
Yeah, I definitely fancy the Shells, but we have to give huge admiration to the Anns. When did they never turn up in the championship? They always turn up. We beat them in the league a few weeks ago, Peter. You were playing yourself, and they're there to come around and perform in the championship. Down the centre, the Anns are very strong, and the one thing I think the Anns have that no other team in Wexford apart from Gorey has is the option of hitting in the high ball to Jonathan Fogarty. When you get a ball out in the middle of the field, if you're under pressure, you have the option of hitting in high. That's a huge advantage to the Anns. But you've asked me who I think will win. I think the Shells will win.
And I'm going to go a little bit against the grain here. I think the Shelmaliers are not up to the speed that they were last year, and I think St Anne's could be buoyed by the win they got here this evening, and I'll just give them a chance in this game. And the fourth game then is between Clabon and Crossabeg Ballymurn. So Ed, you can share your thoughts first on this game.
Yeah, Clabon are very similar to the Anns. They always seem to turn up for the championship. I just know that in the programme there at the weekend, Alan Carton is back. He's a huge help to Clabon. Don't forget, Clabon have 2 county players, Conal Flood and Harry Keogh, and they're not overly exerted from the year. They weren't used. They were used sparingly. So You'd have to say Clabon could take stopping, but Paddy Foley, what performance in the second half tonight, So I think that'll be the closest one of the weekend myself.
And the final game, Des, is the game between Pettitt and Gorey. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, Faythe looked to be going well in the league. They hammered Blackwater last week, and they put up a huge score again. And Ratner didn't put up as big a score, so I'm just going on the basis that Faythe are going well. They were strong last year in the championship. Teams found it hard to beat them. Gorey's performance today, I'd be kind of, if I was over Gorey, I'd be thinking, what am I going to do? And because on paper they have a very strong team, but they didn't show today. The last 10 minutes, maybe there was no fight, there was no nothing in them. I'd be changing around Gorey's team if I was over. I think Dunbar needs to move out the field, and he's more threatening to coming on from the middle field, even in a half back line. I think but look at in saying that, I'd be going for Gorey again. Faythe, I think with the Conor McDonald effect, and I would think them it'll be a struggle for him, but I think they'll beat him by around 3 points. So Gorey.
And Ed?
Yeah, when one thinks of Faythe, you think of the up and coming players that they have. They've about 4 lads on the county minor team and a couple on the county under 21 team. If Faythe can stay up for the next few years, Faythe are going to be a serious force. But Gorey haven't been beaten today. You don't become a bad team overnight, and as they said, the Conor McDonald effect, and I can see Gorey winning this one, but Faythe are definitely an up-and-coming team.
And I was quite disappointed with Gorey's performance today. I suppose the standard that the referee set made it very difficult for them to get into their rhythm. But I do expect them to respond a little bit better against Faythe next week, and I'll give them the nod in this game.